The college football experience, Iowa State Cyclones 2022 season preview episode on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network, presented by WynnBET. Bet $50 at WynnBET and get $200 in free bets. Bet big, win bigger with WynnBET. Download the WynnBET app now or visit wynnbet.com. That's WYNNBet.com and start winning today. We're also brought to you by Sleeper. You already play fantasy on Sleeper, but now you can win cold hard cash with their brand new over/under game. Just head to sleeper.com/SGP on your phone to join the SGPN group, and Sleeper will automatically match your first deposit up to $100 at sleeper.com/SGP. We're also brought to you by us. Yes, the SGPN app is live in the App Store and Google Play Store. It is free to download. And right now, make sure you check out our relaunched merch store where you can get like all of your favorite SGPN gear. So just go to store.sportsgamblingpodcast.com and also grab that SGPN app for free in the App Store or Google Play Store. And then do us a favor after that and let it ride.
Hey, what's up, you degenerate gamblers? This is Bill Burr, and you're listening to SGPN. Let it ride, baby.
Yes, yes, yes. Woo! Welcome to the college football experience. Iowa State Cyclones season preview. My name is Colby Swinging Database Dad, aka Pick Dundee. That's not a pick. This is a pick. Switching it up, buddy.
Oh yeah, gotta get back to the basics sometimes, buddy.
Nobody knows nothing. Somebody knows. Double the price, but no one touches Dundee.
That's right. No one touches Dundee. Patty C. I was actually on the under at Iowa State last year, and that cashed for me.
Look at you going against your boy.
Matt Campbell. I know, but it was just a high expectation, and we'll get to a lot of it. I love the Iowa State Cyclones, but I am joined by my co-host. Give it up for former JMU Duke defensive back, the burrito eating, sideline kiss stealing, wheeling and dealing, Patty C in the place to be.
Hi. Oh, celebrate victory. Here we go. That is something Iowa State's been doing a lot more frequently lately.
I love what Matt Campbell's been doing. I hope he stays at Iowa State for the next 30 years. I think he should have a lifetime contract because he's doing an unbelievable job. And even last year, I know a lot of people, I do go out sometimes and listen to The Enemy, other college football podcast. And by the way, hopefully you're subscribed on YouTube because we are on there with these sweet ass graphics. Shout out to the SGPN graphics team. And a lot of people said, oh, they were pretenders. See, this is an example of why a large playoff would be awesome. They went just 7-6 last year.
Yeah.
But they outgained just about everybody they played.
Yeah.
So sometimes Iowa had like 110 yards and won by 10.
Yeah. Like you said, 106.
Whatever
yards.
It was, yes. And
pathetic. How do you win? How do you hang 27 points on a team if you have 100?
Well, Iowa State severely outgained them, and same with Baylor, right?
Iowa State severely outgained Baylor,
like by even more than the Iowa game, I believe. The difference. They also outgained Oklahoma, right? And get this: every one of their losses, minus the Iowa game, which was 10 points, was by a score or less. 36 points combined is what they lost by.
Let me tell you what. Also,
they lost 6 games. That's on average of 6 points a game. What were we gonna say?
All those close losses.
Yeah,
on the road. Baylor on the road by 2. Dub V on the road by 7. Texas Tech on the road by 3. Oklahoma on the road by 7.
And
even Clemson in the bowl game, kind of in Florida, closer to Clemson by 7.
And if you look, they played 2 sets of back-to-back away games. Oklahoma's only played 1 set of back-to-back away games. Patty C. In 10 years.
Oh, okay.
In 10 years.
Gotcha. Yeah. A little difference there.
So Iowa State in 2021 played more back-to-back away games
2
than Oklahoma's played in a decade.
1.
And you're not seeing this pyramid scheme that is college football. Look, we love college football, but you got to call it out for what it is. Patty C, Matt Campbell's a terrific head coach, and that's why I do think in a large playoff. Now, I'm not saying they would have won it all, but I definitely could have seen this team advancing and being a thorn in the side. We saw it with they had a bunch of players drafted. Breece Hall on the New York Jets, Brock Purdy on the San Francisco 49ers, a couple others too.
I mean, the fact that they, kept it within 2 points against Baylor. They didn't get Oklahoma State last year. I would have liked to have seen
2 points within Baylor. They
beat
outgained
Oklahoma State, who beat Notre Dame, who beat Cincinnati, or no, who didn't beat Cincinnati, but who played probably Notre Dame as well as Cincinnati did.
Dude, they outgained Baylor by like 300 yards and lost.
Yeah,
I mean,
this team we thought was going to be way better. I mean, Brock Purdy,
not
their
me because it was on the under. That's the only knock here is that.
Well, what was the over last year?
I don't remember exactly, but I know it was here. I can find it. If you give me a minute, I will find it for you.
7-5 in the regular season. I assume that they were being.
I think it was 8.5 or 9.
8.5. Yeah, if I recall.
Hang on, I have it. Just give me a second here.
Okay.
But the thing is that they play a lot of close games in general. Where is this? Actually, it might be on my other email. I don't know.
Some of their wins were pretty darn impressive. Granted, the level of competition not exactly great in all of them, but they beat UNLV by 45. They beat Kansas by 52. Beat K-State on the road by 13. They beat Texas by 23. They beat TCU by 34. When they win, they house teams. When they lose close.
Well, how about this? Matt Campbell, he came there in 2016, right? 3-9 first season, right? Terrible first season, right? Sort of. That's kind of what they were expecting at the time. But you look at what he did. All right. I will say by the time. Okay. Yeah. So basically starting in 2017. So the players bought in at 16, I think 17. That's what 2017, 18, 19, 20, 21. That's 5 years of football.
Yeah.
They have only lost by more than 14 twice. Twice.
In the last starting.
I mean, look at 17. Ready for this? 2017. They lose by 3 in overtime to Iowa. They lose by 10 to Texas. They lose by 4 at West Virginia. They lose by 7 to Oklahoma State. They lose by 1 to K-State. Right?
Yeah.
Go to 18, and this is fascinating to me because even what do you want as a fan base? You just want your teams to be good, winning records and competitive, right?
Yeah.
They lose by 10 at Iowa. They lose by 10 to Oklahoma. They lose by 3 at TCU. And they lose by 14 at Texas, but I said more than 14 in the bowl game. They lose by 2 to Washington State and Mike Leach, right?
Yeah.
Then in 2019, here we go again. 1 point loss to Iowa in that crazy thunderstorm that was or lightning where they're like, hey, here's a 12-hour delay. 2 point loss at Baylor, 7 point loss to OK State, 1 point loss to Oklahoma because they went for 2, 10 point loss to K-State. Right. And then Notre Dame did whoop their ass in the bowl. One of their only 2 times by more than 14 points. Right.
Yeah.
2020, actually, in the 2 games that were more than 14 points, they happened back to back. Notre Dame bowl game and then 2020 COVID season. Louisiana got the best of them
on the season
by 17. After that, 3 point loss at Oklahoma State, 6 point loss to Oklahoma in the Big 12 championship.
I mean, if you're Iowa State from 10 years ago, you're thrilled to be this close against these teams.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I mean, and you're a good team every year. I mean, honestly, if you play the yardage thing, which I know football is a complex game, they should have went 10-2 last year.
That's a pretty good
went 10-2
predictive metric, especially by the amount that they've outgained.
Especially a couple. I mean, the Iowa and the Baylor games.
They tripled Iowa's yards last year.
And Baylor, I think it was close
doubled
to
up.
Yeah. So
you're right. 5 straight bowl games for the first time in history. I'm looking right now. They've lost a total of 25 games in the last 5 years, but you're saying only 2 of those.
2 of those.
So 23 losses by 2 touchdowns or less over the last 5 years.
And most of them are a touchdown or less.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can Matt Campbell take the next step? He does. We'll get to. I guess we'll get to the roster here.
Yeah. I mean, let's hop into it because Matt Campbell. I love the fact he stayed there. We know there was speculation Michigan would be interested. There's all these other schools. I feel like
he was a hot commodity.
Was it Arizona State? I don't remember, but there was a decent amount of schools, and he turned down the interview. I feel like recently he turned down an interview. Is that Michigan State?
I think he turned down an interview for the pros, right? Like the Detroit
Lions. Yeah,
we're gonna pay him like $10 million,
or the Carolina Panthers or something like that. Yeah. But he's done just a 77 and 49 overall, 42 and 34 as a head coach of the Cyclones. You look at this year, Patty C, and I think people think they're gonna take a step back. Brock Purdy is gone, Breece Hall is gone, but I don't know. Offensive coordinator Tom Manning is back, and they were 43rd in scoring offense a season ago, 69th in rush offense, 32nd in pass offense, 49th in overall offense. So a top 50 offense, and they bring back. Xavier Hutchinson is the big offensive guy they bring back. He's a stud wideout, but 2 of 3 wideouts are back. Hunter Dekkers is going to be the new QB. He got a little bit of burn last year,
replacing Brock Purdy, who had a pretty good run. I think you are calling him a lawn chair.
Yes,
I think he was a good quarterback.
He was a good lawn chair. You can have a good lawn chair. Trent Green was a good lawn chair.
He was all right. Well, we'll say this: Brock Purdy, a 3-star.
Dude, Peyton Manning's a lawn chair. You can have great lawn chairs.
Okay.
All right.
Well, okay. I think the definition of a lawn chair, he is a statue, Peyton Manning, and he is a lawn chair because he folds under pressure. But great lawn chair.
Mark Rippon, great lawn chair.
Okay. So that said, Dekkers, a 4-star, good mobility, 15 yards of rush on 4 carries last year.
I think he might. I think they're not going to miss a beat from the quarterback spot.
Wow.
Right? Running back is the question, but if you saw before with David Montgomery of the Chicago Bears when he got drafted, people said, "Oh, how are they going to replace Montgomery?" And then Breece Hall comes up.
Yeah.
And Jareel Brock is the guy to keep an eye on at the running back spot.
Hall was a 4-star. Brock replacing him is a 4-star.
There we go. 2 of 3 wideouts are back, and like I said, Xavier Hutchinson's a stud. Tight end Jared Russ is back. I like that. 3 of 5 on the offensive line are back. Now it is a little shaky because both tackles are being replaced, but top 50 offense. And then look at the defense. Patty C, if I had told you that Iowa State's defense charted better than Iowa's last year, would you have said that I was a liar?
I would have. Yeah.
Well, 20th in scoring defense in the nation, 21st in rush defense, 11th in pass defense, charting at 9th overall in total defense.
Wow. A top 10 defense for a 7-6 team.
So I'm saying they were better than the record.
They were better.
They got 5 starters back on defense. They run a 3-3-5, so they got 2 of 3 back on the defensive line, led by Will McDonald. Will McDonald is a beast. I do expect him to be in the NFL. 1 of 3 are back in the linebacking core, so that's what you circle. But Jerry Vaughn is back, the lone linebacker back. 2 of 5 in the secondary back, led by corner TJ Tampa. This is an issue because they got rated. It was an offseason issue. You could actually search some of these articles. I was curious. Matt Campbell, kind of saying there was tampering involved with some rating of the roster. We will get to that with the transfer portal. But
who are the culprits there?
The schools.
Yeah,
I believe Ole Miss. Would you believe that?
I would believe that.
Auburn.
Oh yeah, that seems probable.
And I think one other one that I can't recall. Let's get into it. But before we want to talk transfer portal. We want to talk recruiting rankings. We want to go game by game on the schedule and project how we see the Cyclones to be this year. And like I said, hopefully you're joining us on YouTube or whatever platform you listen to the podcast at. But if you're on YouTube, you can see the sweet graphics. Shout out to the SGPN graphics crew. But let's get us paid first before we dive into all this fun because yeah. All right, folks, I want to tell you that the College Football Experience Iowa State season preview for 2022 is brought to you by WinBet. Bet $50 at WinBet, get $200 in free bets. Bet big, win bigger with WinBet. Download the WinBet app now or visit winbet.com. That's WYNNBet.com and start winning today. We're also brought to you by Sleeper. You already play fantasy on Sleeper, but now you can win cold, hard cash with their brand new over-under game. Just head to sleeper.com/SGP on your phone to join the SGPN group, and Sleeper will automatically match your first deposit up to $100. That's sleeper.com/SGP. We're also brought to you by us. Yes, the SGPN app is live in the App Store and Google Play Store. It's free to download, and right now, we just relaunched our merch store where you can get all of our favorite SGPN gear. Just go to store.sportsgamblingpodcast.com or get that SGPN app for free and let it ride. We're also brought to you by Dave. Yeah. Not that Kevin Kline movie in the 90s that Patty C says is
Oscar worthy.
Yes. Not Dave Rudaball. Wasn't he a safety? I don't fucking remember.
Not Dave Clawson, not Dave Dorn, not David Cutcliffe. No coaches in the ACC here.
But Dave can still bail you out just like they could in a pinch. Because Dave is the banking app that you can that can help you get $500 instantly with extra cash. I mean, come on, we've all been in a jam. We've all been, whether you're living paycheck to paycheck or just struggling to make ends meet. It can really be stressful sometimes. Maybe all of a sudden, it's life. These problems occur. You know what I mean? A friend, I don't know. You could just, a bunch of stuff. An opportunity comes up, and you're like, "Damn, I don't have enough money, but I sure would like to go on this fishing trip with this girl that I've had a crush on since middle school." I don't know. I'm just talking out of my ass here, but I'm saying
pass some opportunities up.
You got to
have Dave.
Yeah, you got, and that's why Dave can help you out in a jam. And get this, there's no interest, there's no credit check needed. So if you've been just destroying your credit, or I don't know, you're good. You're good. Just download the Dave app from the App Store right now. That's DAVE. Sign up for an extra cash account and get up to $500 instantly. For terms and conditions, go to dave.com/legal. Instant transfer fees apply. Banking provided by Evolve, member of the FDIC. We're also brought to you by IPVanish. Did you know that browsing online using incognito mode doesn't actually protect your privacy? That's right. Without added security, you might as well be giving away all your private data to hackers, advertisers, your ISP, and other prying eyes. That's why here at SGPN Studios, we use IPVanish VPN to make it easy to stay truly private and secure on the internet. So go to IPVanish.com/SGP and use the promo code SGP and claim 70% off your savings. That's IPVanish.com/SGP. Patty C, perhaps Auburn, perhaps Ole Miss. They perhaps were using IPVanish,
and that's why we don't have hard evidence of tampering.
Yes. So let's hop into the transfer portal. Much like Iowa, we just previewed Iowa, the Iowa Hawkeyes. I know they're rivals, guys. We cover college football from a bird's eye view. We've been doing this shit for years. We love both programs. All right. I know that sounds terrible, but if you go listen to the Iowa preview, I see similarities. Matt Campbell's not a guy that really dives into the transfer portal. And if you ever hear him talk, I get it. I see why he doesn't.
Yeah. I mean, when you're in the middle of a cornfield, it's got to be about player development.
He just believes in his program. I think he believes in the next man up too.
You're not in Miami. There aren't 500 5-stars just walking around, coming and going as they please. You got to get guys and you got to build them up. And it takes a guy like Matt Campbell to, like you said, believe in the program and build it into what it's become.
Yeah. So 4 incoming transfers by my count. And I think short of one of them, I think all of them will be impact players this year. Wide receiver Dimitri Stanley from Colorado. He is the son of Walter Stanley, who also played at Colorado. He played in the NFL for the Green Bay Packers and the Detroit Lions and the Washington Redskins. So his son at Colorado, I was impressed by this guy. And I think you mix him in with your 2 other returning wide receivers, and I think you have a really good receiving core. Quarterback Conrad Hawley comes in from Kansas with Leopold. Interesting in-conference transfer right there. I think that's weird, but hey, you got this guy. I don't know if I don't think he's going to be. I would be surprised if we're calling his name this year. Linebacker Colby Reeder though is a stud, and if you've ever watched FCS football, you know the Delaware Blue Hens are good, and you know that normally, especially recently under head coach Danny Rocco, they were really stout defensively. He is a grad transfer that comes in that I think is going to start day one.
Yeah, you're right. Delaware did have a stout defense last year.
On the defensive line, also MJ Anderson coming in from Minnesota. I think this will be a guy that I don't know that he'll start, but I know he's going to get reps. He's going to be playing in the games. So they got 4 guys now.
Impactful guys, it seems.
We still have to grade the transfer portal, so they lost just like Iowa did.
Yeah.
Because look at this safety, Craig McDonald. They lost 3 They went 3 deep on the depth chart, safety wise. They lost. Craig McDonald is an Auburn Tiger, Patty C. Michael Antoine is a Florida Atlantic Owl, right? Parker Rickert is in the portal.
All 3 of those guys were safeties?
No. Oh, the safeties were Craig McDonald. He's at Auburn. The other safeties were Asim Young, who was all Big 12. This guy was going to be a stud. Ole Miss, and then Kamani King to Florida A&M, right? Those are the 3 safeties. But if you're looking at the others in the portal, like I said, they lost what the corner Michael Antoine to FAU. Wide receiver Parker Rickert is in the portal currently. Cornerback Derek Miller is in the portal currently. Quarterback Aiden Bowman is in the portal. Cornerback Detrone Young went to Duke. Offensive tackle Joey Ramos went to Arizona State. Cornerback Answer Guy is in the portal. Quarterback Hayes Gibson's in the portal. Deshaun Davis
south.
Deshaun Davis went to Southern. Eric Horn went to a linebacker, went to Florida A&M as well.
Must have been a cold ass winter in Ames.
Wide receiver Ezra Anderson went to Campbell with Mike Mentor. Defensive lineman Corey Suttle went to Miami, Ohio. Wide receiver Joseph Skates went to Memphis. Safety Jaquan Amos, another safety, went to Ball State. Safety Verdell Edwards, another safety, went to Hawaii. Linebacker Arquel Smith is in the portal. Wide receiver Tariq Milton went to Texas. Fucking disgusting.
I wonder. Yeah, that is terrible.
And they lost one other guy, Cordelius Bailey, defensive lineman in Northern Iowa.
I wonder if Campbell, kind of gives these guys he doesn't seem like the kind of like, let me cold shoulder you and you figure it out. You see the writing on the wall and transfer. He seems like a guy he was like crying when his players are graduating on senior day, whatever that was last year.
Money is probably playing a role here. Like when you have, some of these starters, Asim Young and Craig McDonald, these guys were really good. And people were saying like that they were going to change Iowa State essentially. So like, I do believe NIL and stuff probably played a role here.
Well, if you're losing an all Big 12 corner or safety to a school like Auburn or Ole Miss.
Ole Miss was the one that seemed
yeah. Then it's probably money. Probably
100%. There's no way, right? Anyway, what do you make of? So I would say he lost the portal.
Well, 10th out of 10 in the conference, obviously, with you said only 4 guys coming in.
4 guys coming in.
That's good for 109 nationally. Yeah, that's a lose. That's a loss in the transfer portal.
And it sucks because much like Kirk Ferentz, I feel like he does a great job of developing these young kids into great players. And you would like to think that they would return the favor, but money is money, right?
They are the proverbial farm system.
Yeah.
Hello.
So talk to me about recruiting.
Recruiting. Let's see. Recruiting. This team's been pretty consistent. Last 5 years, 55, 50, 48, 60, and 50. Within the conference, that's been 7, 6, 6, 8, 8 out of 10. Nationally, the composite, 54, 56, 57, 57. Again, a team that's incredibly consistent from a recruiting standpoint. I would say the thing that is surprising about them is they get, the 4 stars they get seem to be impactful. Again, this is Hunter Dekkers at a 4-star quarterback and Jahlil Brock, 4-star running back looking to start this year. A lot of the time, these guys, kind of just don't make it onto the starting unit, even as seniors. But Campbell seems to, make the most of his impact players.
Yeah. And I think he's one of my favorite. I hope he stays at Iowa State, just like Ferentz has done. Ferentz is what, in year 22, I feel like, at Iowa.
He could. That would be great. Imagine that long term.
And I almost want that rivalry to spice up. I know Campbell's had a tough time so far against Ferentz. Patty C, and like I said, if you're watching on YouTube, you'll see the sweet ass graphic. Vegas is saying the win total is at 6.5. I mean, what's your first reaction when you say 6.5, Patty C?
I mean, let's.
How long's it been since you had a 6-win season in the regular season?
Oh, let's take a look. I mean, what do you do?
I can tell you
7 since 2016. It looks like.
Yeah, they haven't had so they've been better than that. I almost on without even diving into the meat of it, I almost want to say lock this up, right?
Yeah, 7 or more seasons or 5 straight seasons with 7 wins or more, and here they are projecting to go 6.5.
And by the way, the over is +100, the under is -120. So Vegas is leaning towards a 6-6 season.
Fuck Vegas. Vegas is stupid. Another thing to factor is last year, 5 in-conference road games and only 4 home games. That changes this year. 5 home games, only 4.
Well, the first thing that catches my eye is they don't have back-to-back away games this year.
No back-to-back away.
Patty C, week 1, the Red Hawks of Southeast Missouri come to town to Jack Trice Stadium. Want to know Iowa State's going to be.
Yes.
Then they have to go to Kinnick to take on Iowa. We just did the Iowa preview. We took Iowa.
Yeah.
I still say this is a close game, and if they could find a way to make a play, they could steal this.
Even at Kinnick.
Yeah.
It's typically a pretty dang close game.
I'm taking Iowa though, so 1-1, right?
Yeah.
Then they host the Ohio Bobcats on Saturday, September 17th.
Yeah.
I have them beating Ohio and Curtis Rourke, brother of Nathan Rourke, who's currently ripping up the Canadian Football League with the BC Lions.
And he was Ohio's quarterback before.
Yes.
Yeah.
I got him 2-1. You?
2-1, and here we enter Big 12 play where it seems like a lot of 50-50s.
Saturday, September 24th. I can tell you this: I think Iowa State's wanted to play Baylor all year after last year, severely outgaining them.
Yeah.
Now Baylor's got to go into Ames. This place is gonna be bananas for this game.
It's early. Baylor doesn't have Jerry Bohannon this year, who was excellent for them.
Baylor's gonna lose this game. I feel pretty good about it.
This one's a 50-50 to me, but
how's it a 50-50 if Iowa State outgained them that much in Waco last year?
Yeah. Pulling up the recent history here, but they still found a way to lose that. But yeah, it was only a 2-point game in Baylor. I'll go with it. I'll take Iowa State here.
Now I am interested the next week because I do think it'll be a letdown spot because they'll get revenge on the Big 12 champs. That's what I'm saying. Big 12 opener. You're getting the champs in Ames. Baylor's not winning that game.
You think?
No.
It's been relatively even over the last 5. In fact, Iowa State's won 3 of the last 5, although 2 of the last 3 have gone Baylor's way.
But Baylor wasn't coming off a Big 12 championship and a home opener, conference opener.
Big target on their back. All 3 of the last 3 games in that series have been decided by a touchdown or less.
I think it'll be close.
Fight. Yeah, but yeah, I'll lean Iowa State with you on that one.
Saturday, October 1st, and I think Leopold might have this one circled because last year they did put it on Kansas before Leopold had his team really together.
Was that a 52-point win?
Yes.
Yowzers.
And it's a letdown spot.
I don't care how prepped he is or how much this game is circled on the calendar. That's a lot of points to overcome. Give me the Hawkeyes. Give me the Cyclones on the road. Dude, we just did Iowa. We just did Iowa. Forgive me. We're doing this stuff back to back here, guys.
Let me just.
I just looked at their schedule. I saw the word Hawkeyes. Shots fired. Don't take it personally. What do you got for me?
I'll go to Iowa State, but man,
you should not have had to think that hard about that.
Don't sleep on my boy Leopold. I already proved everyone made fun of me last year on that play.
4-1 out the gates here.
Then they're home to Kansas State. Man, Farmageddon. Isn't this Farmageddon?
This is Farmageddon. Cornfield Magic here. Look, in one of these next two games, I'll have them taking an L. They might even lose both of them, but I think Campbell's proven more often than not that he wins some 50-50 games. So,
well, what if I told you, Patty C, that that Texas hasn't beaten Iowa State in since 2018?
So what's that? 4 straight wins for the Cyclones?
Three.
Okay. That's impressive. How about what's been the recent history of that Kansas State series? We pull that one up. 52-49 overall. They have a lead.
I love it.
That Farmageddon series, and they've won 3 of the last 4, including some pretty nice wins. They won by 45 2 years ago. I say they go 1-1.
Okay, I'll meet you there. 1-1.
Yeah.
So what do we got them at there?
We got them at 5-2.
They get a bye week. They're home to Oklahoma before the bye week. They are beating Oklahoma in Ames.
Oklahoma also has a bye week. Oklahoma finally learning to take Iowa State seriously. Actually, I think they always have. I think Oklahoma's been, always had a generous schedule when taking Iowa State into consideration recently. At least more so than Iowa State.
The last couple times these teams have met, it has been very, very good games. So Oklahoma won 28-21 last year in a game that Iowa State outgained them, right?
Yeah.
Then they met in the Big 12 championship in 2020. Oklahoma won by 6. Earlier in the year in 2020, Iowa State won by 7. Go back to 2019 in Norman. Matt Campbell goes for 2 in the win. He does not get it. They lose 42-41. The year prior, a 10-point win for Oklahoma. The year prior to that, Iowa State won. So
like Matt
it has
Campbell
been chippy.
Channeling his inner Tom Osborne there. Sometimes that's a good sign for the outlook of the program long term. I mean, you mind if I backpedal for a second and rattle off some of the stats we got coming back?
Sure.
Xavier Hutchinson, 83 catches, 987 yards. Gone is Charlie Kohler to the NFL and his 62 catches, but
He was a beast too.
Jared Russ comes back with only 7 catches at the tight end position, so a little bit of a question mark. But Jaylin Noel, 38 catches, and
and Dimitri Stanley coming in there.
That's true. And Noel, I mean, what could be a big difference in this, his kick and punt returning, where he's preseason all conference 2nd and 3rd team respectively. I don't know. I don't know if they have enough firepower for Oklahoma. I'm a little on the fence for it. But Oklahoma does.
They're replacing everybody,
including their coaches
and their quarterbacks. And
screw it. Let's go Iowa State here.
There we go. Letdown spot, homecoming next week, and it's Halloween weekend when they play Oklahoma, dude.
Fans will be lit for that.
West Virginia comes to Ames.
Cornfields, Halloween, all the horror going on at the same time.
West Virginia comes to Ames.
I feel like West Virginia loses on the road in these games.
I think they lose. Yeah.
So what do we got them at here?
Right now, I think we have them with
7-2.
Yeah. Right. Then they are at Oklahoma State. They lose that game.
There's the L.
I went to this game. It was a fantastic game a couple years ago in Stillwater.
So we have them hitting the over anyway right now.
Yes. Then they're home to Texas Tech. I think they beat Texas Tech
8-3.
At TCU. You know what? I'll even give TCU the win there. Upset.
8-4.
Yeah.
9-3 possible.
Give me the over on the Cyclones. I like it.
I like it too.
I think it's a
pretty solid.
This might be a lock. This might be
Just
a lock
because it seems. I mean, where are the real chances of a loss? At Iowa, at Oklahoma State seem like pretty decent chances of a loss. Oklahoma and Baylor, even at home, seem potentially like losses. That would put them at 4. Between road trips to TCU and Texas, maybe there's. I really don't think. I think it's pretty damn.
I think it's a lock.
Yeah,
I think it's a lock. Lock it up. Give me the Cyclones on the over. Patty C's locking it up. I'm locking it up.
That would be 6 straight years with 7 regular season wins for Matt Campbell and the
He's
Cyclones.
building it, man. He's building it. Patty C's on the over. I'm on the over. Subscribe to the College Football Experience on YouTube and all the other podcast platforms, whatever you listen to your podcast on, folks, because we're breaking down all 131 teams in the land, a solo podcast for each and every episode. And by the way, don't stop there. Subscribe to the College Basketball Experience because Iowa State just had a great run to the Sweet 16 with TJ Otzelberger. We got you covered. We talk college basketball year round. We talk college football year round. We even host a college baseball experience with Noah Beanick as well. Check out all of those. Subscribe to the Sports Gambling Podcast as they're already talking NFL. Subscribe to all the other stuff going. MLB Gambling Podcast. NASCAR Gambling Podcast, Golf Gambling Podcast. Check all those out. I think you'll dig it. If you get the SGPN app, you'll have access. And by the way, if you give us a 5-star review on iTunes, take a screenshot of it and show me it on Twitter at @TheColbyD or the College Football Experience is on Twitter at TCE on SGPN. We'll send you a College Football Experience t-shirt that'll look like that. Pen it if you're watching on YouTube right now.
Sweet.
Patty C's on Twitter at PattyC831. Give him a follow. NC Nick's on Twitter at NC_NICK. We are the College Football Experience. What's up, buddy?
I got a nugget for you I wanted to throw out before we left, and maybe this would really show the development for Matt Campbell. And I want to get your opinion on whether they have that on the roster this year. They have one first-round draft pick in school history, and that was back in 1973. We are at 50 years since
Breece Hall was close, though.
Second round, fourth pick of the second round. So close. He deserved to be in the first round. He the first running back selected?
I think so.
I think he was. Yeah. That's a pretty big honor. But does Iowa State have anyone on the roster that could maybe with an amazing year? Xavier Hutchinson, could he be that guy?
Potentially. I think on the defensive side of the ball, they might have someone. I don't know about first round though. Maybe second round. I think it's always tough to tell with that because you don't see like Northern Iowa. I think had an offensive lineman drafted this past year in the first round.
You never know who's going to skyrocket up the chart. But if Matt Campbell keeps getting some special players, and
it's going to happen. It's going to happen. This program's, as long as Matt Campbell's there, it's heading in the right direction.
You gotta love it.
Subscribe, folks. I'm on the over. He's on the over. This is the College Football Experience, Iowa State Cyclone style. You better start thinking about yours.